The views and comments expressed on the following radio program by its hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of rmconair.com or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, So What Morning Show back in the building for another riveting 2 hours of hot topics, relationship topics, favorite books, guests. You know how we do. It's a veritable grab bag of interesting tidbits to get you through the day. I'm Zoe Williams, the philosopher, of course. The comedian is not here. That's Jeff Brown. But he will be calling in. He even calls in late. Oh, Jesus. The guy here, he's terrible. Anyway, we're also joined by our good friend. You know him, you love him, and people are really starting to comment about this guy, his knowledge, his information, his cool, his candor. Dr. Mark Goulston, author of Just Listen. Man, So What Mornings, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Something I realized, I was watching some of my tapes of some of my things, and apologies to the listeners, but when I watch some of my tapes, and apologies to Ann Coulter, I kind of came off retarded.
What do you mean?
What I realize is that I talk slowly.
Yes.
And I think I talk slowly because when you try to talk with people, it slows you down. When you talk at people or over them, it speeds you up. And so, actually, if you go to YouTube, there's a clip about Mark Goulston does psychological housekeeping. Because now, what I do before I give a talk, I tell the audience I'm going to speak slower than the other speakers because I'm going to try and talk with you. But I really, and on this show, I think it's safe to say that I am the ignorant and possibly retarded white man.
No, not even close. Ladies and gentlemen, let me not forget, get his book. It's a great book. I've read it. And again, is that 5-page executive summary still available for anybody who emails you?
It is now. Thank you.
I keep reminding folk of it. Listen, go get his book. It's a great book. I want you to participate in his movement. I guarantee you it's going to make you a better person. Now, I have a stack of books here that I'm going to be promoting throughout the show because people ask me, Zoe, what are you reading? So I said, let me bring a couple of titles that I'm reading and share those with people. But before I do that, we got a couple of business things to take care of. People should join Mark Goulston's Heartfelt Leadership Group on LinkedIn. How can they find that?
Yeah, if you belong to LinkedIn and you look up groups and you look up Heartfelt Leadership, we launched this yesterday around 5 p.m. We have about 240 members in less than a day. And the mission of Heartfelt Leadership is daring to care in a world that tells you you're a fool, or as one of our guests are going to say, you're a sucker. If you do care.
Hey, you kind of puffing up right now. He going to be here in 15 minutes. Corey Holcomb will be in the building to battle.
That's right.
Mark Goulston and I, Jesus, if you're just tuning in, I'm telling you, you better spread the word. It's going to be a wonderful show. But go deeper into this.
Heartfelt leadership. If you go there, heartfelt leaders are, when you think about the best part of you, and you think of the people that help you develop the best part of you, those are heartfelt people in your life. And so what we're building is a community worldwide, we're going to start slow, in which people share stories of people that they're grateful to. And what they're grateful to them for. Because you know what happens when you're grateful? When you're grateful, if you tuned in to what you're grateful for, and Thanksgiving's around the corner, what's fascinating is when you can feel what you're grateful for, you don't feel physical pain at the same moment, and you don't feel like there's anything missing in your life, and there is no need to retaliate against anyone. And that's why a lot of people say in the morning, you should wake up and be grateful and multiply, and it will change your day for the better.
Are you saying we should have sex in the morning?
No, you be grateful. Are you grateful before or after it's over?
Multiplying,
or after
right?
It's over?
I'm just trying to multiply as best I know how.
No, that's be grateful and be fruitful.
Okay.
And then multiply.
So listen, if you want to participate in today's conversation, I'll tell you what the topic is going to be. Toxic relationship. Male toxicity versus female toxicity. What does that mean? What do males bring to a relationship that could potentially become toxic versus what females bring to a relationship that could potentially become toxic? That's going to be our through line throughout the whole show. I'm going to throw it to the doc for a second, but before I do, last Thursday was the final Voice of Reason on Foxhole Radio, Sirius XM 98. I'm gonna miss Foxhole. It was a great run. 4.5 years of incredible shows. That's where I met Dr. Mark Goulston. We did a show called Just Listen, and he was on the radio crying and emoting and pulling millions of people in, and I knew then that was an authentic, genuine human being that I had to get to know, and he felt the same way. The Voice of Reason had many highs, man. Many highs, very few lows. One of the greatest highs that I had happened last week on the final show. I'm doing this show and I open up the phone lines and I let everybody come in and participate. And, how did the Voice of Reason affect you? How did it help you or whatever? And about 30 minutes into the show, Big Boy from Power 106 calls in and says, I know you hear first-time caller, long-time listener, or long-time listener, first-time caller from a lot of people. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, dude, I'm one of those people. He was like, dude, I'm a radio guy, but you're the guy radio guys listen to. He said, me and my wife, we sit in our car in the driveway on Thursdays and listen to the Voice of Reason. He was like, man, this is terrible. Your voice is touching a lot of people. And even Guy Black saw that and gave us an extra 30 minutes to field all of the callers that were calling in. We went 2.5 hours just to get all of the callers on board. And I just want to send out a shout to Jamie Foxx, Marcus King, and all the people that, helped me do what I needed to do at the Foxhole. And I appreciate that opportunity. And it created a monster. So I say thank you to all of those people. And welcome to the So What Morning Show, the new endeavor. If you're trying to get in contact with Zoe Williams, text me at ZO to 90210. Once again, ZO to 90210. Now that that's done, let me flow over here and talk about toxic relationships. Doc, can you tell me 3 things that men do that just make relationships absolutely unbearable and toxic?
I think I think a lot of men have this. Well, I think what makes a person toxic is that they feel entitled to things they don't deserve.
Go deeper, hallelujah, please. Reverend Dr. Goulston, please.
When you feel entitled to something you don't deserve, you feel that anytime someone doesn't give you what you feel that you're entitled to, is you are entitled to become angry, hostile, enraged, and justified, and you finger point and you say, well, I am this way because you did this or you didn't do such and such. And I think a lot of men feel entitled to here's something. A lot of men feel entitled to respect without realizing you have to earn respect.
Okay, that's a beautiful angle. Men feel entitled to respect, yes?
Yeah, and they don't realize that you have to earn respect. Respect is not a right, it's a privilege that you earn.
I love that. And what is the counterpart for women? What is men feel entitled? Entitlement to receive respect.
No, I think entitlement breeds toxicity. So there's a lot of women that feel entitled. Well, I am entitled to A, B, and C just because I'm me and whatever. And so I think if you were to ask yourself, what is it that I actually deserve, and what have I done to deserve it? Now, I think all the toxic people would say, that's for suckers. We don't need to figure out.
Like, you really battling right now.
Well, that's because when he comes here,
you gonna fold up like a deck of cards.
Fold up like a what?
That's what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna fold up like a retard. Oh, there I go. We're gonna get bad. No, my apologies for using that word. But I'm describing myself in the like a deer in the headlights of 2 very quick and smart people that are going to be here pretty soon.
Wow. So entitlement is really a root seed for toxicity in relationship.
Yeah,
a sense of it.
Yeah, and what happens is when suddenly people don't give you what you feel you're entitled to, you get angry. You get enraged. And
So I read somewhere that anger is connected to frustration and frustration is connected to not getting what you want. Is that true?
Yeah, I think when you don't get what you want, you feel frustrated. When you don't get what you feel entitled to, you get angry.
Ladies and gentlemen, please call in if you're frustrated, entitled, and angry right now. 323-965-1600. Now we talked about male toxicity and, the sense of, I need to be respected. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's one of my Achilles heels that I'm a child. I'm a poor little inner child when it comes to that. And I'm very toxic in that sense, and I need a quick detox. But tell me about female toxicity and what they may bring to the table, because I want to keep it balanced here.
Well, I think, again, it's prompted by entitlement. Entitlement means you owe me A, B, and C without my having to earn it or even deserve it. And so there's an attitude there. Mm-hmm. And so I think entitlement is probably
the biggest thing.
Underneath all toxicity. I'm entitled to better. What'd you do to earn it? I don't have to earn anything. In fact, this is a slight tangent, but I think it's funny.
It's quite
one of the things about teenagers that a lot of parents find this funny is that when a teenager says to you, or a young child says to you, I want to do this. Let me do this. Please let me do this, and I'll take full responsibility for it. And if you say to a teenager, what do you think full responsibility means? And they say, and you say to your teenager, do you know that it means that when you take full responsibility for what it is you want to do and it backfires, you have to apologize, pay the consequences, correct it, make sure it never happens. And what's your teenager say? I never agreed to that. Well, what do you think taking responsibility is? Well, what a teenager says is, I'll say I'm sorry.
Wow.
So a lot of times people feel entitled to things without having to be responsible, accountable, or whatever. And so I think women sort of feel that way. Who do you
think are more accountable with regards to mistakes? And I know this is a tough question, but who do you think are more accountable? Do you think men are more accountable when they do foul things in relationship, or women? Who do you think? I know you're pro women, so I just want to see where you go with this. I like to make you uncomfortable.
I think they're equally unaccountable. I think people are heading towards being more.
What is he, a doctor or a lawyer? Which one?
No, that's a rabbi. You don't give a straight answer. But I think they're equally unaccountable. Meaning, I don't know how often I hear someone apologize. Here's a full apology. It's what I call a power apology. It has 3 parts. That's where you say that you did something or that you failed to do something. And that you're sorry for doing it. So that's the first part. And the second part is you say what it did to the other person.
Wow.
I know that when I did that or I failed to do that, I didn't just disappoint or frustrate you. I hurt you. I broke something in you. I destroyed some trust, and you're not going to give it back to me easily. And the third part is what you're going to do to correct it so it never happens again. Those are the 3 parts of a power apology. Say what it is that you did or failed to do and admit that you're sorry and that you were wrong. If you notice in our politicians, many of them, it's very difficult for them to say that they're wrong. Now, a lot of that is because lawyers will say, don't admit you're wrong, because if you admit you're wrong, then the other side can come back and try and sue you for being wrong.
Right.
And you can say, I'm sorry, but if you admit wrongdoing, then the other side can come out, well, you better repair that and you better repay it.
Right.
And I think that's unfortunately what a lot of the lawyers have taught the rest of society. It looks like we have a caller here.
That's Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown's on the line. I'm going to ask Jeff Brown, welcome to the show, 17 minutes late, even when you're at home.
Electronically.
You're electronically late.
And guess what? Guess what?
What happened?
I'm going to go ahead and apologize for that because I know that broke something inside of you. And I'm going to do something to fix it. I'm not quite sure what.
Jeff, it just confirmed that we need to start at 10:45.
Right. The show now starts at 11:15 for Jeff.
All right. Yes. Exactly.
11:15, so he comes on time.
Right.
You're going to do the old Jedi move the time
yes.
Negroes bit.
Yes. So let's ask him the same
anyone,
question.
Jeff, would you say like Corey Holcomb that anyone who was on time is a sucker?
No.
He just keep calling out Corey Holcomb. It's gonna be a problem in a few
Oh my
minutes.
God!
You know,
I can't wait for that show.
and no, it's today.
Corey's coming in. Corey's coming in.
Yeah, because you don't want to be here. See what happens?
Oh man!
Yeah. Oh man, ain't that right?
Wow!
Wow, indeed.
Dude, it ain't that I don't want to be here. It's that my car don't want to be there.
Listen, you and the Thunderbolt grease slapper should get out here ASAP, man. 'Cause
Thunderbolt grease slapper.
I'm just saying,
I
dude.
think you just need to steal a more reliable car. You
You know what? I think no. More reliable cars got GPS. You can't be stealing them cars.
they get found.
They get found. Yeah, I need to steal cars that stay stolen.
So let me ask you the same question I asked the doctor. Who do you think is more responsible for the toxicity that they bring to relationships, men or women? Do you think men stand up and say, you know what, damn, I brought all of this garbage with me? Or do you think women stand up and take ownership of the toxicity that they bring to the relationship more so than men do? That's your question.
Okay.
Talk to me.
More so, I'm going to say men, okay? Because if that wasn't true, then this particular quote from the movie As Good As It Gets, Melvin Udall, Jack Nicholson's character.
Oh, yeah.
When the girl corners him at the elevator.
Yes.
And she goes, I love your work.
Reason?
How do you write women so well? He says, I take a man. I start with a man. And then I take away reason and accountability. If that's not hilarious, and I fell all out down on the floor in the movie house when I heard that, because those have been my experiences.
Okay, so let's do it this way. Doctor, Jeff just pointed out a great film, As Good As It Gets. I take away reason and accountability when writing about women. Of course, that was a joke. It was funny, but all jokes are rooted in the truth. Who's more accountable in relationships, men or women? Go.
I'm going to split it. I think it's 50-50. I think when either party feels wrong, and when relationships are going south, both feel wrong, they both feel entitled to justice. They both feel entitled to retribution, and they both feel entitled to make excuses. Well, I only did that because you drove me to it.
I've never said that before in my life.
But that's stuff women say. Like, even in the context of cheating, I cheated because you cheated. But really, no, I was looking for a justification to do something I always wanted to do in the first place, but I'm not going to do it until I feel justified. That's how women are.
Well, that's interesting, because when I've spoken to women and listened to them and listened to men, when it comes to cheating and affairs, a number of women will say, I did it because, something, I was lonesome, something was really missing, something was...
How come a woman can't say... Let me finish. But see, how come a woman can't say, I did it because I wanted to?
No, because...
How many times you hear that?
Well, I think it's shifting now. I think what happens is a lot of men are saying, I did it because I was lonesome in the relationship, my wife was really cold, and
no, dudes have always been saying that. And you know what the truth is? Why didn't you... Here's the question I always ask people who cheat. Why didn't you kill her? Because you're not a murderer. What? You cheated because you're a cheater, and that's that. You could have wrote her a letter. You could have drove her off a bridge. You could have cut her throat. You didn't do none of that. You went out and got some cooter or some ding-ding on the side, because that's what cheaters do. Cheaters cheat.
Okay, so listen, Jeff Brown, we got a caller on real quick. They want to speak. Caller.
Speak to us.
Yo, what it is, though? It's your boy, Nick.
What up, Nick?
Man, what's happening with you?
Oh, man, long time no hear. Nick Alark. Where you at, man? You in LSU town, right?
Yeah, man, I'm up in Baton Rouge, chilling here at work, on the little Team RAR, listening to, trying to catch your show, but having a little website trouble. But I caught what you guys are talking about, the infamous cheating, who's wrong, who's right, when is it justified. We just having this conversation on the page, and I just told somebody, I always said this, it's not cheating unless you get emotionally attached.
Wow. That's an interesting angle.
Wait, say that again?
It's not cheating unless you get emotionally attached.
Because the act of fucking is something physical. That's something people do. You don't even have to think about it, especially us being men. We do it all the time. And when a woman goes to cheat, shit, if she's cheating, she could not even have sex with a guy but be into him more than she is her man, just because that guy's providing something that she's missing from her guy. So what's worse? I mean, shit, a little physical act that means nothing to someone, or that the other person going and finding an emotional connection even though they didn't even get physical.
That's a good point. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate the call. So which is more important?
No, I think
or which is worse, emotional cheating or physical cheating?
Well, I think emotional cheating is worse, but what hurts more is, the physical thing. I don't know why, because a lot of people who are married have emotional relationships with the opposite sex.
Well, if that's the case, dude, I should be really hurt. I've been cheated on emotionally my whole get down. From the very first relationship, they cheated on me emotionally. Jesus.
Well, anything that you wouldn't do in front of your mate is cheating.
Anything you wouldn't do in front of what?
Your mate.
What would you call anything you wouldn't do in front of your mother?
I do a bunch of stuff I wouldn't do in front of my mama. My mama don't count. That's my mama. I do stuff I wouldn't do in front of her out of respect. There's certain stuff you ain't supposed to be doing in front of your mama, Doc. You about to let me know something.
But what about shouldn't you not do some things in front of your wife out of respect? Respect doesn't count.
That's my point. My mate, my wife. If I flirt with a girl.
If you flirt with what?
If I flirt with a girl, if I'm talking to a girl.
That's a combination of flirting and passing gas.
I guess. A flirt.
Wow, is that what y'all heard?
That's what we heard.
If I flirt with a girl.
That was a smelly connection.
If I'm talking in a tone that I wouldn't do in front of my wife, that's a tone that's leading somewhere. That's why I don't do that. I don't do that. I have plenty of opportunities. I don't do that. I pretend my mate is standing there. That keeps me in the clear. And this is from an ex-cheater.
It sounds like you have imposed your own dog chain.
I got to ask him
something. Oh, yeah. Well, I have to. I'm a werewolf.
I got to ask you something. You being a former Marine.
Yes.
And the Middle East is, kind of falling apart.
Prior service Marine. No such thing as former Marine.
That's right. You're a Marine. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. There's no such thing as former Marine for life. Semper Fi. But Middle East is really coming apart. Do you believe? I believe that if the mothers of the world stood up, and the mothers of anyone who's been killed at war stood up and stood in front of tanks, stood in front of everything, I think people, warriors, would be less likely to kill a mother than to kill a child.
I like that. I love that analogy. But you know what? You're dealing with some dirty people and be some dead mothers. Okay.
Really?
What has
even their own mothers?
Yes. What has to happen is people have to understand that all over the world, every war has this in common. These are the sons and daughters of poor and broke people. The elitist people, they ain't got that. You got Prince Harry. Every now and then you get somebody mega rich that snaps, that winds up of their own volition going.
All right, but listen, this is what we have to do really quickly. I'm sorry to cut that off, but we got to take a quick break because we went over. So we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to revisit all of the things that we laid out. So What Morning Show. I need callers to call in right now. Our special guest is in the building. When we come back, we'll have him here in studio. 323-965-1600. Text me, ZO to 90210. We'll be back at 2.2. And it shall begin. I'll talk to you guys in a moment. Holla. So What Morning Show back in the building. And our guest has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, I need you to get to your phone lines, 323-965-1600. It's the So What Morning Show, and we're talking about toxic relationships. Male toxicity versus female toxicity. And are men more responsible? Right? Do they step up and say, I brought this bullshit to this relationship? Or do women claim responsibility more than men? I don't know. And what's the difference between male toxicity and female toxicity? What do women do that bring toxicity to the relationship? Somebody call me right now at 323-965-1600. Without further ado, Dr. Mark Goulston is in the building, author of Just Listen. Please go get his book. It's very important. Here's another cold book. I thought Captain Save-A-Ho-ism was just some stuff the hood made up, but this is a book called The White Knight Syndrome. Go check this out. Right? Rescuing yourself from your need to rescue others. The White Knight Syndrome. Heavy book. I thought we made up Captain Save-A-Ho, but apparently we didn't.
I've been saving hoes for years.
Oh, Jesus. And you know the voice. You know who he is. Corey Holcomb is in the building to answer questions that have been set forward by Dr. Mark Goulston.
What's up, Doc?
So let's go into it, Corey. Toxic relationships. Who are more responsible for them, men or women?
I'm not sure what's been said so far, but in my opinion, women are more responsible for toxic relationships because in relationships, men have to be empowered. Men have to be accepted by the woman. And there's a lot of women out there who are
what if he does something
self-destructive in their own behavior.
What if he does something that's not acceptable? I mean, even by his male friends, if they would say, that's not acceptable. Well, I don't care. I'm the man in this house, and she needs to accept it. I'm the man.
Well, that's the other end of the spectrum. I think that women should be taught to go after honorable men. And in my opinion, a lot of women don't know how to pick a good man. They just pick what they like to look at in relationships. That's my opinion. I don't think a lot of women even know how to go get a good man. Get a good man.
And men don't care about getting a good woman.
Well, men want sex. And there are some evil men out here who try to overpower women by using their strength, because most of the time that's the way you overpower a woman, by using your strength. Most of the time women are not dumb, but they play dumb and they use it as a way to be a victim in the situation. In my opinion, of course, my hood professional opinion. I don't know what that is.
What do you think? I think what women like. Is that they like it a man who takes charge. They don't like a wussy guy who's just passive because, there's nothing to look up to. But I think what happens, I think you can take charge without being controlling and a bully, and sometimes they look alike. So when you're just meeting
who's more bully-like in relationships?
Women are the bullies. Women are the bullies, and they are assisted by those who want the chaos to fill up the courtrooms to keep that type of cash flow going on.
Wow. Are you saying women are the bullies, they're the emotional bullies, and really behind the scene, through victimhood, are the dictators of where the relationship goes?
If your woman doesn't look up to you, if your woman doesn't have some type of fear of repercussions of, not being righteous with you, they're going to bully you.
Are you telling me fear tames a woman in relationships?
No, fear keeps people from bullying others. When you're afraid of someone, you don't bully them. On the other hand, underneath all bullying behavior is fear. Underneath all anger is fear. Fear that you're not being respected, fear that you're not worthy of the respect. So but a lot of men can't tap into the fear underneath their aggression. But underneath most aggression, I think all aggression is fear.
Okay, Doc.
Jeff Brown.
All aggression.
Go ahead, Jeff Brown. Hey, Jeff Brown, we can't see you, so let me set you up, pimp.
Okay.
Don't just bogart. You feel me?
See, I'm bullied.
Come on in, Jeff. Come on in, bully.
Okay, well, set me up. Is Corey Holcomb? Is that Corey Holcomb in the house?
Yes.
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
What's up, Playboy?
Yeah, I hear the bass in your voice. What's up?
Dude, I got to disagree with the doc right there, that all of my aggression has to do with fear. Sometimes it's not about being heard. Sometimes it's not about being understood. You can get my aggression from pushing my buttons too damn far. And women, a lot of women, count on the fact that if I push this dude too far, the courts and the police are on my side. So I'm going to bring him around in this house when he go, how come you said you was going to cook and you didn't? And I go, oh, yeah, that's why your mama's alcoholic. That's what's going on.
And you know what, Jeff? That's a great question that I can ask the entire panel here. Which gender is responsible for pushing buttons the most? Doc?
They push buttons differently. I mean,
I know they push buttons differently, but who pushes them the most?
When our kids are young, they try to train them, use your words, and it fails with men. So women have a way of using their words. If you ask any women, they'll even say that about other women and their friends, that women can be vicious the way they use their words. What happens, though, is that men, unless you're as quick and smart as Corey and Jeff, they don't have access to those words quickly to fight back. So what'll happen is there's a disconnect, and they're exploding inside, and the only way they know what to do is they get even physically, or they become a bully because they don't know how to use their words. I would imagine that someone like Jeff or Corey can go toe-to-toe with almost anyone, male
Corey?
or female.
Well, I get what he's saying when he says aggression comes from fear, because I'm telling you, fellas, you better be scared if your woman ain't scared of you. Because she is going to try to run you if she doesn't fear repercussions from running you. Wow. It's not. It's a delicate balance there. It's like a lot of people will take it to the bullying stage. I get what he's saying, but I think I'm a level-headed guy, and I'm no bully. I'm not going to try to run over you, but you will understand. You cannot fuck with me.
So are you telling me fear has a useful place in relationship?
Absolutely.
If fear
in
is
terms of keeping the peace.
A relationship with no fear is a relationship with no balance.
Oh God, caller, you're on right now. Talk to us right now. So what morning show?
Cool, man.
Talk to us.
What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on?
What's
happening?
happening?
From South Carolina.
All right.
What's
all right.
up, man?
Yeah, what's up, Zoe? What's up, Corey?
Chilling, man.
Jeff on the phone.
What's up?
Doc? I appreciate you sending me that little forward. I appreciate all y'all knowledge. Zoe is on one end of the spectrum and Corey's on the other end of the spectrum. In some kind of weird way, you both cover a lot of things. Now, what Zoe set me up, help me understand what exactly is the question. Are we talking about fear? Are we talking about cheating? Are we talking about? I'm trying to make sure I answer the question.
Again, we're just talking about toxicity in relationship and where it comes from. And the doctor set it up nicely when he talked about entitlement might be the root seed that produces this toxicity, both in men and women. My questions were, I was asking which gender is more responsible for pushing buttons. Are men more responsible? Do men do it more than women do it? Or do women push buttons of their men more than men do them? So we had a series of questions evolving out of this conversation from the very beginning. So you might want to pick one.
All right. Well, it's a couple things, but it's all based on two concepts that I think you and Corey both talked about in separate instances. But I definitely would say is women would definitely poke more nowadays. But it all goes back to, just family structure, men having a role and women having a role. Corey's whole basis of, men sacrificing their role, most of the men in jail, women take dues to court. They feel they have this power.
So let me stop you right there. Stay on the line. The caller brought out a great point. Is the caller saying, and maybe the caller can correct me, but is the caller saying women push buttons more than men because women have a judicial system that favors them?
Well, it's that, but it's deeper than that. It's basically the family structure is broken. Women have a place and men have a place, but it's just totally screwed now. So
where's the place for men?
But it's an innate thing that a woman still needs a man, even though they can be independent and take care of everything. They still want a man.
Wow.
So they still need us, but it's just we're at kind of sort of almost at their mercy. Unfortunately, because there's less cool guys, less real guys, less eccentric guys, less strong guys, and way more women, period. And then in the middle is a gang of lames and people lost in this society of music and money and wealth and all of these things.
Well, brother, and you know what? You bringing up a lot of great stuff, man, and I appreciate that. We got other callers on the line, but thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, I appreciate
They're called
that.
cattle.
Peace.
All those extra people
Thanks,
he was talking about?
Yeah, the unnecessaries.
Yeah. They're called cattle.
Should women kowtow to men more than we do to them simply because we're in the minority and looking for good, strong, incredible men is really a task?
Well,
I mean, it's really difficult.
It's a blessing to have one.
I got an ignorant white question.
Go deeper.
Go deeper. Go more ignorant. Okay.
Yeah, go deeper into the ignorance.
Tell me if this is more of a a white thing than a black thing. There's this saying that a man wants to keep the woman the way she was, adoring, really looking up to him, think he's special. And women are always trying to change the men. They're always trying, and they're saying, but I'm just doing this for your own good. And what happens is...
Let me upgrade you.
Let me upgrade you. And I don't know if that's a more white thing, or maybe it doesn't really exist. But
no, that's Beyonce, right?
You think that's true? That women are always trying to, in the name of upgrading you. Oh, you could do this, you could do that, and men start feeling picked at as opposed to feeling
supported. That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point.
If you notice what has happened as society, as they say, continues to evolve, we see a lot of things in society that everybody doesn't have an answer to, in my opinion, but I think the answer comes from women being in power. I think kids who are running the street doing certain things that they do nowadays that they didn't do when, back in the day, it's because they were brought up by a mom with no male influence around. So if you are a woman and you pick an immoral man or a man who is not a stand-up just guy, you destroy the community. What you doing in your bed with that bullshit dude destroys the community because it's going to produce bullshit people. And there's a lot of bullshit people in the world.
Phrase the thing. Do you think the fear of a dad versus feeling guilty with a mom, which one keeps you more in line?
Can I holler on that one?
Can I holler? Yes, you can.
Okay,
Cat Williams.
I grew up on the stanky south side of Chicago where people is getting shot up and killed right now. There is a bunch of stuff that I didn't do, not because I didn't have the opportunity, not because I was going to get caught, purely because if my father found out about this, I wasn't going to be able to deal with the way this dude could dent up a wall with my ass. And it's not enough of that going around.
You know what? And you know what? That's a great point.
Now. It's illegal now.
But that's a great point. I sat my 2 oldest children down because their mother she was having an issue with them. And I said to them, why is it that you do what I ask you to do when I ask you to do it? And my daughter answered first, because you're going to whoop us. It was just real simple. You whoop people, And what I explained to their mother, I said, listen, these are very intelligent kids, and they know they can push you to a certain level, and you don't stick to what you say you're going to do. You ultimately bend. And now they're smart enough to recognize when you're bartering with them. So her method is, if you don't do this, then I won't get you those shoes you want. So if you don't do this, or if you don't take out the trash, I won't take you here. And I'm saying, what kind of deal are you cutting? I don't cut deals.
And if your children are diabolical in the way they think, they can call the police on you for disciplining them and get you locked up and taken out of the house in front of them, as society has set it up that way. So that's another thing people need to worry about when you're dealing with a diabolical woman or a woman who you feel like is not just. It's the same thing. Whenever you, whether you're man or woman, if you mess with somebody who's a bullshit person, you're going to get bullshit results.
But again...
And the worst is bullshit kids. But again, I don't fuck with my bullshit kids.
We'll go even deeper into that.
I fucked your mama. Your mama wasn't shit.
I can't be around half of you ain't shit.
Right, you come from shit.
But see, Corey, there's a deeper level to it. What about the idea or the concept, and Dr. Mark, you could speak to this. What about the concept that you date what you are? What about picking, like when you say women are choosing terrible guys, what if they're choosing a reflection of themselves, whatever unresolved issues that they have internally? So what if they got the right person for the lesson but keep missing the lesson? What about that?
Well, a lot of times, one of the biggest mistakes we can make, not just women to men, but even friends, sometimes we are attracted to people because we think they're strong, and what we discover is they're not strong, they're rigid, they're inflexible.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
And that's a real wake up call.
Okay.
And sometimes men are attracted to what they think is a strong woman because men can be kind of flighty.
Damn.
We can be ADD, and then when it turns out that she wasn't strong,
Don't tell my business, Doc.
She was rigid and inflexible.
Jeez.
That's a huge wake up call.
The men I know, they fuck all women. It don't matter. This could be beautiful. She can be ugly. She can be a good person.
Rigid, inflexible.
Right.
It don't
They
matter.
all come with
Fantastic.
vaginas, which is the base level requirement.
And most vaginas are flexible.
Well, especially inner city vaginas. Inner city vaginas, I have found to be a lot more flexible.
Yeah, there is something about urban cooter that is different.
I heard Viagra cures flexibility in penises.
So does bad bitches.
Oh,
Exactly. Exactly. Your boy William Shatner. What was that? Denny Crane? Come on, y'all help me out. What was he Denny Crane on? He was killing. He was a lawyer.
we don't know old old
Denny
television
Crane,
shows.
He was a lawyer on Boston Law. No.
Yeah, Boston Legal. And his ex-wife said, so you're going on a trip with your new girlfriend. Why don't you, don't forget your Viagra. He looked right at her and said, you know what? With her, I don't need it.
Okay, so listen, this is what I got to do really quickly. Sorry to cut you off. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do hot topics, and then we'll revisit the toxic relationship topic that we're covering. Listen, if you want to participate in today's show, speak to Corey Holcomb, speak to myself, Dr. Mark Goulston, even speak to Studious Chocolate or Jeff Brown. Call us right now.
Wow, how did I get that far down on the totem pole?
Because you're not here. Mr.
AWOL.
Right.
Brought to you by Cricket Phone.
So listen, call us right now, 323-965-1600. We'll be back at 2.2 with Hot Topics. I'll see you in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, Zometheus Rising. Yes, the voice of reason. I am still him, even though the show is dead. Jesus. Foxhole has died. But the two remaining Buffalo soldiers from the Foxhole are here now.
That shit ain't dead. That's that fruit booty bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. They fighting over ass up there. Fuck them.
I'm sorry, did you say fruit booty?
Yeah, I did, Jeff Brown.
That's hilarious.
Hey,
Hear
I'm
ye.
not going to sit
From
here.
this moment forward, all behavior that is suspect from a male shall be called fruit booty.
Fruit booty shit.
As decreed by Lord Brown,
Oh my God.
the Curia.
I can't wait to use that.
All right, listen, So What Morning Show, we're back. If you want to call us right now, 323-965-1600. Dr. Mark Goulston, author of Just Listen. Of course, Corey Holcomb is in the building. Jeff Brown is on the phone. And I need to throw it right now, Hot Topics, to Studious Chocolate. She's going to read our stories and let us know what's cracking. Her name is Chuck Doe. I'm sorry. Studious Chocolate was the stripper name that was handed to her by Jeff Brown, but she's never going to be a stripper. She's a Christian and virgin. Go. I'm sorry. She's thrown under the bus.
Okay. So in Iowa, there was a Pizza Hut delivery man that peed on a woman's doorstep because she didn't tip him.
Wow. Just random.
peed.
Just whipped it out.
And peed.
Well, who reported this?
The next day, she smelled something and she was like, what is that? And then
But how would she know that the dude peed?
they had cameras. And so the Pizza Hut delivery manager went down there and watched the camera and fired the guy. She said she didn't have money to
He
tip.
could just go to Papa John's. He'll be fine. Just lead him, go somewhere else.
Right, it's not like that's a job.
Right, it's not nothing he would
Have
miss.
anxiety to get a new one.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
What-
ain't that hard. Peeing don't keep you out of a job. Peeing in a cup can.
But peeing on somebody's porch should. Damn it, Jeff. Next story, please. Let's go.
Story.
Okay, Hostess is going out of business. Supposedly.
Who?
Hostess.
All fat people alert.
Oh,
What?
they should. Hostess should go out of business.
That's what I was saying.
I'm just saying, with America's kids being obese, what's the problem with that? How about it? Fuck Hostess.
Well, they they filed a petition that said they're crippled and that their ability to produce is crippled because they can't maintain production because there's like strikes going on with their workers and stuff. But I was reading a update today, and they got a petition to the White House that they're trying to get like 25,000. I don't know the number, but
so because they know Obama will bail out the Twinkies before he bail out the hood.
Wow.
So, wow. Thank you for saying it. But Hostess don't need to be bailed out because they changed all their damn recipes.
Well, what I'm hearing right now is that there is a Mexican billionaire who might save the Hostess brand by moving the company to Mexico and having them produce Twinkies. So Speedy and all of his fat children and girlfriends, the whole Beluga tribe will be okay. I think they'll live.
Obama already spoke up for the Twinkies.
Did he? Oh, damn.
That was another fruit booty joke. Another fruit booty joke. He gonna bail out the Twinkies again.
Wow. I mean, how many people really care about Twinkies like that?
A lot of people.
I mean, the last time I had a Twinkie, I had to be in the 6th grade.
But it's not made the same. It's all different.
Yeah, thank you. It stated, man, you remember when the Hostess apple pie was the bomb?
When it was apple pie.
Hey,
the
man,
lemon pie was good too.
You grow up on that stuff, and then you taste it nowadays. You be like, what the hell is this?
That's like the cereals.
That's why they going business. If they still made the same thing they did in the 70s, they'd be running it.
If they got up in the morning and cooked.
Wow.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
In Chicago, you could get a Hostess pie at the right time of day. You could go to the store, it'd still be warm.
Yeah.
So let me ask this. When they say Hostess is going out of business, that mean all of their products, not just Twinkies, but Ding Dongs and Zingers and all that?
There's still going to be some hoes, but the ho-hos is gone.
But the ho-ho cakes is gone.
Yeah, you got to think of the name of they pies. It was
you got to get your cream filled somewhere else.
Right.
Wow, Dr. Mark Goulston, don't get your porn on. You're supposed to be the voice of reason on it. Just Listen by Porn Advocate. Come on now. What's our next topic?
Porn Advocate. Okay, so on Bossip.com, they wrote a story about if you can't get a job, you should probably pretend to be white in your applications.
Wow.
So there was an experiment done. There was a black woman. She couldn't get a job. She went back to school to complete her degree so that maybe she can get the positions that she was applying for. And
did she get the job?
No, she still couldn't get the job. So what she did was she made the exact same application, except she named it like Rebecca White or something.
Heather McGillicuddy.
Bianca White. She named the applicant Bianca White. It was a fake applicant. And she put all of her work experience and her degree onto Bianca White's. And Bianca White got emails back, calls back, and she still got none. Wow. And then in comparison, she got 3 calls and Bianca had like 12. And yeah.
Wow. So Bianca, the fake white person.
Latina.
Wow. Or Latina.
But, I mean, like, this is obvious.
That's what pisses me off. Why everybody get...
People, did you see what happened? It's like, no, motherfucker, that's how it goes.
It's awful, but why should it surprise anyone, right?
It's like...
listen, Doc.
This is life in America.
Doc, right? You got to be the white voice of reason here. You got to be like, I'm appalled. This is outrageous. But no, you're like, y'all should get used to it.
Doc already know. He's like, bitch should have been doing that shit.
Right.
You got to go to school to get a job. I don't got to go to school to get a job.
I mean, America, man, has to be the fakest, falsest, most pretentious country in the world then.
Absolutely.
We just got to start living up and understanding. And when I see black people that be like, integrate into this, and that's your best chance.
Right.
It bothers me.
See, there are other countries where they're just like, fuck you, we don't like you, and, that's easier to deal with. But in America, it's like, oh, you're okay. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's why I say racism has gotten worse than it is better. At least back in the day, my grandfather knew who didn't like him. He wasn't getting stabbed in the back.
That's what they say about the South. They talk about the South. When you go down south, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Chattanooga, Tennessee, you go to Atlanta, certain places, Mississippi, Alabama, white people be like,
don't forget Florida.
Florida, Kentucky, hey, use a nigger. Don't you ever forget that use a nigger, you understand? Okay, I'm just getting some gas.
But I got your daughter credit card and I'm buying shit with it.
Oh, God.
Your daughter fuck niggas.
Oh, God.
That's what I always tell them. They get mad as hell.
Let me make this a voice of reason.
Please.
Now, this is about. I was just thinking. Do any of us know anyone who never lies?
No.
No.
So listen. If you believe in your heart of hearts that everybody lies, not about everything, what do you believe? Are you an idiot? Are you a sucker if you believe people or you believe in people? I mean, that's what's happening now. You feel if you believe or you believe in someone, you got a screw loose, and really the smart person is the person who's a cynic or skeptic. I mean,
The only person you can logically believe is someone that you know and have spent time around, because then you have to trust what's inside of you to pick up on who this person is and when they're talking, when they're bullshitting, and when they're not bullshitting.
You have to see their track record. If it's a track
But
record,
even with the track record, a person can be consistent behaviorally and you still not know the intention behind the behavior. This is how men hustle women. We'll behave, our behavior will conform to what they want ideologically, but behind the scenes, we just waiting our time. And I'm saying most men. I'm not saying all men.
Oh yeah, that's the day 91 cat.
That's what I'm saying. We can't just leave it up to behavior, because behavior can be used as a means of communication of deception as well. No. And what happens is, all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, all we got to do is be truthful. Women will gravitate to us. But most men don't want to be truthful because we're afraid that truth will repel what we're after. But there are some women that'll be like, hell no, you told me the truth. You gave me an option. You empowered me. I'm attracted to you for that.
There's not a woman that I have met since age 25 that I didn't tell what the fuck they needed to know. I don't leave information out because when I'm tired of you or I want to get the fuck away from you, I'm going to tell you, bitch, you knew what it was.
But to go back, I believe that everybody lies.
Yeah,
I believe that everybody lies, and everybody can't help but lie, even the people that are closest to you. I believe those are the people that have more to gain by lying to you.
That's right. I lied about my car not running.
Wait, let's go back.
I lied to bitches about their kids.
Did you hear Jeff? He said, I lied about my car not working. So you could have been here.
I'm sitting here playing with my donuts and watching porn. I just didn't feel like getting dressed.
I don't know if we wanted to know all of it.
I hope you took Viagra with your Cheerios.
And back to Mark Wilson.
Wait, let's go back to the story.
You won't want too far. That happens to us all.
Let's go back to the story, because the story is about how hard it is to get a job, and you have to lie to get a job. So
you have to be white to get a job.
Not lie. You have to be white to get the job. Now look at the interviewer's look on his face when Blackie Locks walk in.
Blackie Locks?
Right.
Blackie Locks.
When Blackie Bianca walks, hey. Who is this? I'm Bianca.
I'm educated. Don't give a fuck, bitch. Don't give a fuck what you got. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow. How crazy is this? What's our next topic?
No,
Let's
the
go.
Doc was going to break something down.
Oh, all right, Doc. Go ahead.
I think we destroyed it for him, though.
Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, y'all know where to go.
Okay.
You don't even remember where you go.
Okay, I'm destroyed. Next topic.
No, you're not destroyed.
I know when I'm destroyed. I know when to throw in the towel.
Good job. Good job.
He was going to make logic out of it, and I said, you got to be white. He was like, well, I can't argue with that.
In my corner with you, Apollo, saying, cut me, Nicky, cut me.
Woo! All right, let's go. Next topic. Studious Chocolate.
Okay, so there's a professor at Cal State Long Beach, Kevin McDonald. Mm-hmm. He's basically a white supremacist. He's the director of a new political party called American Third Position. And its mission statement says that government policy in the U.S. discriminates against white America. He did an interview at KCAL9, and he said when whites are a minority, there is a concern that the country won't be the same anymore. So,
well, of course it won't be the same. You guys will be the minority.
He doesn't like that.
So,
well, he ain't supposed to like it. We didn't like it the other way.
How did he get a teaching position at a damn near all-black college in Long Beach State? How did that happen? Isn't Milana Karanga down there the creator of Kwanzaa?
He's a tenure psychology teacher.
How's that for diversity?
Was he tenure or tenured? Because if he's tenured, they can't get rid of him.
Yeah, they can't get rid of him.
They can't get rid of him.
Was he always this way? Did he come out in the closet?
He's been open about it. No, he's been open about it. the whole time.
So he's pro-white.
He doesn't have to worry about anything because the president doesn't have the balls to say nothing about it anyway.
Exactly.
Wow. Why would you say that, Corey?
It's the truth.
Because that's the truth.
Obama is not going to tackle anything that has to do with black-white. He'll go into the gay thing. He'll go into he will not address the issue of black-white.
And that makes you feel what about Obama?
He weak than a motherfucker. Because
Well, Corey,
there's some
I think
obvious
you're going
shit
at it.
going on.
I think you're going at it wrong.
Jeff Brown, go in.
I think you're going at it wrong, although I wholeheartedly agree with you. I go at it like this, and I ask the question and enjoy the silence. Name one issue that purely has to do with just black people that Obama has addressed directly.
The neighborhood Obama's house is located in is the same neighborhood. The 51st Ward of Chicago is in peril right now.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers is dying like it ain't.
Yeah,
how the fuck can you come from that and not address that?
Jeff,
Yeah,
You
the
president of the
mailman in the 54st Ward is running down the street shooting back.
But oh damn.
That's how bad it is.
Hey, but what about this, Jeff? Apply that question to George W. Bush.
I shouldn't
Apply
have to.
that
George
question.
W. Bush isn't
I'm just
black.
saying, apply that question to any other president. The bottom line is the president of all the people and not just black people.
No. But okay, let's apply it. Let's apply it to Bill Clinton.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that. But
Apply
let's
it to
take
George.
black out. Let's take black out and put in the first national Mexican coalition. That was headed by Bill Clinton.
Wait, but you know
what is your phone saying?
Why do we have to use hypothetical situations? The president is a black man,
Thank you.
what is happening in this country to the people that look like you needs to be addressed.
Well,
Why do we have to be hypothetical about this?
Wow.
Would this be silly and stupid, or just my second ignorant question of the
Well,
day?
let's hear it.
Probably, but go ahead, shoot it at us.
You from the hood, Obama? What the fuck?
What if Obama said, there are black issues that need to be addressed, and I need to recuse myself because of all the distractions that everyone would have about me doing it. But in all fairness to all people that I represent, they need to be addressed, and these people will address them. Maybe it's a combination of black and white, but I need to recuse myself because of the fallout, and we will never get back to being able to address it because we're going to have all these people.
And then
saying
most
whatever.
black people would be like, he always making excuses. He
No,
said
I would say
excuse.
that's
No,
a
he
less
said
wussier
recuse.
position.
That's less wussier.
You need to be a man and clean up your own backyard. You cannot ignore what is happening
But my question
in the
is-
neighborhood where that house is, where you used to live in before you got this notoriety as president. If you want to ignore what happens 3 blocks from down your street, then that lets me feel like you're weak. Because if I'm the president, I'm going to say, hey, listen, what's going on in Chicago and a lot of these inner cities, we have to do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to act like it's not existing. I'm not going to never say nothing about it as the president of the United States.
Ever. How about say something about it and don't do nothing else, like a lot of candidates do?
George Bush neighborhood ain't fucked up. George Bush neighborhood is fucked up if I'm walking down the street and that motherfucker.
He was never.
Everybody will stop and say, what the fuck is he doing here?
Right.
But you know what? I just want to
Chuck
say
Doe,
something.
come in, Chuck.
Well, the president, everyone's like, well, he's black. He should help the black people. He's biracial. He's black and white.
No, he's black.
He's black and white. But people say because
He black, he
look
got a
like
black
me-
wife.
He's black.
His wife went to Whitney Young High School.
No, look, people
Chuck?
say because you look like me, you have to fix
Let
me.
me
and fix my
Chuck, I have
No,
a
that's not
question
it.
for you.
You're supposed to
I have
fix
a
what
question
Let me
for
say
you.
this to Chuck. Hold on one second, Jeff. Let me just say this to Chuck really quickly. I don't believe that there's a third race like that. Like biracial is another race. White people know. You got some black in you, and your pigment is browned up.
That's black.
You black. They know that.
I think
They don't see. Listen, if white people saw Obama as half white, there would be less acrimony amongst the races. No, they see that dude as a brother.
Thank you.
Period.
No, but I think black people see him as a brother, and they're like, well, you have to fix our.
Chuck.
you don't have to fix,
Chuck?
you have to say something.
Chuck?
He doesn't have the power
Black
to fix
people don't
nothing. He
even
need to
get
say
started
something
on
though.
fixing themselves.
Okay,
Chuck.
that's a great point. Go
Chuck, I
ahead.
have
Go
a
ahead, Jeff
fantastic-
Brown.
I didn't hear what she said.
Jeff Brown, go ahead.
I have yes. I am glad that you say that. I am a full believer that in all truth, the White House can do nothing on a whole to help black people with their chief problems. I don't think they do. What is
Yes, they can.
blatantly obvious is that there is a black man, and I call him black because nobody's trying to kill him because he's white. I call him a black man. They're not trying to kill the white half. I'm addressing the half the Klan is interested in. A black man is in the highest position in the land, and he has said absolutely nothing about anything to do with the group of people who show up in droves to get him in his position. Why is that so horrible? Why is that so, you got to spit that back in my face? Why is that something that can't be addressed on anything other than its face value? Why hasn't Obama said something about black people? Why does everybody have to go, well, why don't black people do stuff for themselves?
Let's do it this way.
He said something about the crisis gay people are going through in this society, but he hasn't said nothing about the black people.
All right, let's do it this way. We have a caller. But
I think everybody gay. Fuck it.
We have a caller. I want to go to the caller real quick. Caller, let's go.
Yo, what's up, Zoe? It's Leonard from Florida.
What up, boy? Holla at me.
Hey, man. I mean, the president never said he's going to come into office and do stuff for black people.
That's true. There you go.
Or he would have never got into office if he would have said that.
Thank you, Zoe.
So
I'm coming in to help out my people. Huh?
My thing is,
better get kicked
we can't
rocks.
put expectations on him that he never talked about. He talked about what he would do for the.
So is Obama doing exactly to tie it back? Stay on the line, caller. Is Obama doing the exact same thing the girl was doing when she created Bianca?
Yes, he is.
Is he doing? The girl had to create a white profile to get some callbacks on the job. Does Barack Obama have to create a white profile or a profile that is acceptable to white people in order to be able to operate as the president of this land?
That's what he does.
I'm just saying.
Obama did what he felt he had to do to win. I'm
Right,
not talking
thank
about
you.
whether what he did was right or wrong. I agree with y'all about what he should do. I'm just saying he never said he was going to do it. So
Right.
why are we expecting him to do something?
You know what,
That's a
brother?
great point. He makes a great point.
That's game.
Let me ask everybody here. The doctor, Corey, Jeff, Studi's chocolate as well.
Yeah, Toots. Is that what you mean?
Hey, Toots. Let me ask.
Sure, sweetie.
Is Cornel West and Tavis Smiley onto something in their criticism of Barack Obama? Is it fair, or what are they trying to do? What is the outcome of what they're trying to do? They're talking about poverty, and most impoverished people in America is white people.
That's an unfair skew.
I just had to twist it at the end.
That's an unfair
Did you say
skew.
most impoverished people?
In America.
Okay,
so they got the
you gotta
biggest
put that
numbers.
on the,
Yes.
Every time you say that,
Ah, you like that little
They got the
curveball.
biggest number.
Yeah.
But see, you'll confuse people when you say that.
thank you.
That's a nice little curveball for you.
Just biggest numbers. You're right.
I'm just saying, there's more white people on welfare.
Yes, there are more
There's-
white people on welfare.
there's
There are more
more-
white people broke because there are more white people. Now, if you're gonna say that, you have to put on the
In America.
on the
More white
other
people in
yes, on the other side of that scale, you have to put counting Oprah, counting Michael Jordan, counting everybody, Bill Cosby. For every dollar a white man has, a black man ain't got but 11 cents. Because
Well, let's do it this way, Jeff. Would it be their responsibility then, seeing that they're the uber rich, Jordan, Oprah, and all of them? Why aren't they more so on the hook than
rich.
Obama?
Because
They're not
what the
rich.
money they have is not money. It's
Right.
coupons.
Right.
There's only certain things they can buy. Do you think Oprah and Jordan and Cosby, we'll just take those three, you don't think that their money ain't watched? Do you think that they could go in together and say, we're going to take Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're going to make Fort Wayne the hub of black society, and here's how we're going to do
They'll
it.
blow that motherfucker up.
They can't do that.
Wall Street,
They got
back
the
in the
money,
Black
but they
Wall
can't-
Street.
They can't spend it on that because the money's coupons. It's like Monopoly money.
Wow, good stuff. 323-965-1600. Let's go to the next topic. Oh, we got to go to a break. When we come back from break, we're going to continue with this conversation. It's pretty heated.
Get
So
your
what?
Get some nuts, Obama.
Oh, God. You talking crazy to the president, man. Get this, brother.
I'm telling you.
All right, we'll be back. Oh, Lord. So What Morning Show. It's the doctor, the philosopher, and the comedian. I'm Zoe Williams, the philosopher. Jeff Brown is the comedian. And the doctor over there is Dr.
If you'd
Mark
like to make a call, please hang
Somebody's
up.
on their Boost Mobile. It's okay, Boost. It's all right, Boost.
Hang up and then...
It's all right, Boost Mobile. Anyway, somebody call us, 323-965-1600, if you want to participate in today's conversation. I heard that there's a secret agenda connected to the poverty tour that Tavis and Cornell is dealing with. What is that agenda, Corey Holcomb?
Oh, I don't know for sure their agenda.
You have some suspicions.
Yeah, I have some suspicions. I think Tavis got some twinkly ass toes. I'm just keeping it real. I think he got some twinkly toes. People with twinkle toes try to hide it, but I peep it. It's something that always pop out. You be like, there it is. You saw that shit right there. He got that twinkle in his toe.
Are you saying? I mean, I don't know what you're saying, but I'm asking.
Okay, if you really want me to put it out there, I will.
Yes,
okay.
I would like to.
I think Tavis Gay is a Happy Meal. And I think that, what's the other brother's name?
Cornel West.
Cornel West has hit that age where it don't matter as long as he fucking somebody.
Wow.
Oh. And I think it be going down.
I want to see the doctor's face. I mean, because I don't understand. Doc, what's going on, Doc? I need you to help me diagnose this situation over here.
I'm going to say what all white people say is, who's Tavis and Cornell?
We don't even care about their issues. We don't even know them.
Cornel West is the new Frederick Douglass, I guess.
Wow. Oh, Jesus. What is our next topic? Studious Chocolate, you're in the building. And if you want to participate in today's conversation, 323-965-1600. Wait, before we go to that, let's get this caller in real quick. Caller, you're on.
Hello.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah, I wanted to comment on the statement you guys made pertaining to Oprah, Bill Cosby, and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Well,
they tried to buy
remember back when
they tried to buy the Sears Tower.
Bill Cosby tried to buy that the news network.
NBC, yeah.
Right, his son ended up coming up missing. Coming up dying. And next thing you know, Bill Cosby pulled out of that.
Ooh.
So...
So is this a conspiracy kind of thing? Do you think that it's like that? Like, he did try to buy NBC way back in the day for like $400 million or something crazy, and all of a sudden it disappeared. So do you really think there's a conspiracy theory situation like that?
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it is what it is. What happened is what happened. So people who act like that, I think conspiracy is a word people use to try to
debunk
make it
some
seem
things.
like make it seem like something wrong with that guy. He's a conspiracy guy. But no, it happened. They tried to do some shit to get power with their money, and all of a sudden, their family fall apart.
Wow.
In fact, just basically saying his son was killed.
Do you think oppressed people like minorities and stuff are the ones who deal with conspiracy theories more than anyone else?
I think when you feel oppressed, and it feels so awful, it's easy to think that there's more than one person doing it to you. Just the feeling of oppression often feels bigger than a single person.
This is why the doctor is on the show.
So you don't often say, I'm oppressed by a single person. You might say, I'm bullied, I'm taken advantage of. But when you use the word oppressed, generally you feel that there's something larger. And larger starts to invite larger conspiracy. There's more than one I'm being ganged up on.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Let me ask you this, too. Do you think oppressed people have more toxic relationships because of that oppression, because of that stress?
I don't know, because, sometimes people pull together better, in real times.
In adversity.
In adversity, but I think it brings out the strengths and weaknesses in people. But,
it enhances.
Yeah, but when we've been under attack, we temporarily kind of pulled together because our common enemies overtook people's momentary greed and selfishness. Right. Survival took.
I think
Corey Holcomb has a question.
I think a lot of oppressed people used to pull together, especially back in the 50s and 60s. But I think the people who oppressed the people got wise to that, and they started coming up with very, very clever ways to cause separation amongst the people who were depressed. Where now it's basically, I put it like this: in the black neighborhood, especially, it's man against woman.
Wow.
I mean, most of the court cases that go on, it's not strangers who did something to your family.
It's lovers.
It's man against woman.
Yeah.
The courtroom is full of man against woman, and it's clever.
There's been a theme that Jeff has been a proponent of, is that in the black community, we even talked a couple shows
Jeff
ago.
is here with us now, too. So, Jeff, speak up to this as well.
What's up?
We've been talking about why is it that the black community doesn't pull together like some of the other communities. I think we talked about how the Jewish community pulls together, and you were talking about why is it that that blacks don't root for each other.
Nobody has had our struggle. Nobody got it like we got it. We were brought here from our homeland, Africa, and what's been done to us since we've been brought here is never what people talk about. They just talk about the state that we're in right now. Oh, and how it's a shame. But if you really want to just go back and take it from the beginning of how we got here today, it would explain everything.
I think living from a victimhood consciousness is something we inherited from slavery and all of the things that we've gone through. And I think we've inherited a victimhood consciousness as well as an unforgiving demonic spirit. Let me just say this, Doc, and then you got it. I think when you can't fight the oppressor back, you fight each other. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like we attack each other because we don't have the strength collectively, uniformly, to attack the oppressor. So we then attack each other, and then I know I'm saying we have the power, we have the strength in numbers, but we don't have the philosophy of unity in place. And I think what has taken the philosophy of unity is now, or taken the place of it, is a spirit of unforgiveness. We don't forgive each other, but we'll forgive an oppressor or an oppressive situation that's giving us something. In other words, we'll tolerate smack from the boss, but we won't tolerate smack from our family because the boss he's signing the check. You understand? We'll tolerate all types of other oppressions that we won't accept from our own people. And that's a cold situation.
Because you look at your own people differently than you look at your boss.
Woo, go deeper.
I mean, like your boss has beat you down so long, you really just want peace. How can I be down with you, boss? That's really what it is.
Boss?
Yeah.
How can I be down with you?
Whatever you want me to do, I'm willing to do to try to be down with you, which is why most of these people go out and vote.
Wow, that's a good point. That's a good point. Who agrees or disagrees with Corey Holcomb? Call me right now, 323-965-1600. We have a caller. Caller, go live. Caller.
Hello.
It fell. What a lot of people don't realize, everything you do in this society is allowed. If you're not wanted to do that, they won't allow it. And when I say they, I mean the evil people who are in charge.
Wow, that's a great point. Doc, I don't know if you believe in the evil people.
I get a tough question, and I wish and I don't mean it to inflame the rest of the room, but it might. And I'm not doing it to inflame.
Go ahead, that's where you're here.
I want, and I mean this, and I'm just curious. What do you feel, if you were to speak for the black community as you know it, what do you think the black community, given that you were brought here from and put into chains and all that, what do you think at this date, 2012, almost 2013, the black community deserves, and what do you think they are entitled to?
That was a good point. You brought this up earlier.
I think we definitely need to be separated from the people who oppressed us because their intentions by us are no good. And we'll never be able to get back on our feet mentally and physically until we are away from the people that brought this drama on us anyway.
So we deserve to be separated from people in which it's a stacked deck against us, and it will be a stacked deck for a while, and then we deserve.
It's not for a while. It's the way the people are. The people who came to Africa and did what they did to the black people that are in this country now. We cannot be next to them.
Let's look at it this way.
We'll think like them.
You're saying what you need is to be separated from the oppressors, which I agree with.
Right.
But what you need is not the same as at this state. What do you deserve versus what you are entitled to at this state?
What do we deserve?
We'll never get
Go
what
ahead,
we
Jeff
deserve.
Brown.
We'll
Let's
never
hear
get what we
it.
deserve. They threw babies and women and men off the ship just because they look sick.
Right.
Yeah, that's hence the term.
We'll never get what we deserve.
Yeah.
Right. Sharks got a taste for black meat all because of that.
They followed the ship. They
Yes,
was like,
hence the term
Jeff.
dead weight. That's where the term dead weight comes from.
Go on, Jeff.
What do we deserve? Let's just start with we deserve basically what we were promised. How about let's just do the plain
Let's just
old
start
40,
there.
Let's extrapolate the 40 acres and a mule.
Well, that would be nice, huh?
Let's just start with that.
Well, the current administration would have to borrow that 40 acres back from China.
From China,
who own all
absolutely.
of America right now.
So if we could just get 3 orange chicken for the rest of our lives, that's a straight to
That's the only thing you're going to get is some orange chicken because the motherfuckers who did this shit to us ain't giving us shit.
And let me tell you how cold a game it is to steal knowledge of self. Let me tell you how cold a game it is. And Doc, you can speak to this. The identity that a person develops over their lifetime comes from their family, right? Initially. And then they break off at a certain age and start figuring out who they are independently. But the development of an identity is a lifelong process, is it not? Are we always kind of editing and adding things?
It's supposed to be.
You understand what I'm saying? Just knowledge of self, what that is. Well, if it's always in flux because we're adding things and changing things and rearranging things, what happens when that core root of knowledge of self is ripped away and you don't know what to modify or what's missing that should be? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's where black people are. And I've said this before. What happens is you put all in the space of where your knowledge of self should be. There's pain and there's trauma. But if you don't understand what the pain and trauma is connected to, i.e. what was lost, how do you then modify and learn from the trauma that's in that space?
So are you saying we had our self ripped out of us, and so we've been left just trying to survive for more than decades, for hundreds of years. Right. And when you're left just trying to survive, it doesn't necessarily bring out the best in you, but you got to survive before you can do anything. And we go on.
We were never left. We still get beat down every time. There's any hope of us rising up, it will be destroyed by the same people that came and brought us here. It's not like it's over. It's still going on, and it's going to continue to go on, which is why I really have criticism for this guy, Barack Obama, because regardless of whether they bring the drama to you, people voted for you because they don't have any other form of leadership.
And this is why I hate black people who try to force us into assimilating into the system. I'd rather remain a defiant, intelligent, progressive black man who's looking to trailblaze his own way within and beyond this system than to say, okay, I'm gonna do it the way our women are doing it. Because
I'm gonna shave my mustache and let my afro grow.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Our women are freely incorporating themselves into the system, but from a space of assimilation, and then they're creating standards for us.
They're allowed into the system because they're not the threat.
Ooh.
They're allowed
Go
to
deeper.
work. They're allowed to work in corporate America because they're not a threat. All they want is retail and somebody to kiss their ass.
Wow.
Because that's the way they've been trained.
And they want their purse and shoes to match.
Right. You know what I mean? They don't want a motherfucker like me working in corporate America because I will do some shit that changes the bullshit.
Well, let me ask the doctor this. Why does white America, from your perspective, why does white America see the African American male as a threat? Why are we still threatening?
I know why.
I think there's a fair amount of paranoia in white America. And so what happens is what you say, if you're part of corporate white America, I know that if I was a black male, I wouldn't stand for this crap, and I would try everything I could do to get even. So I am now projecting it on all black males that they're there trying to get even with me. So we project on them like, I couldn't stand to be treated the way they're being treated. And so we project on them, they must hate us. And the core of paranoia is when you hate someone else, but you accuse them of hating you.
Wow.
I think that, and I understand what he's saying, but I will say this. This is something else that no one likes to say. Mm-hmm. If black men and white men are all integrated within about 40 or 50 years, it will be all black men. And that is the fear.
So a lot of it is we could be wiped out of existence just even kicking it with black folk.
No, I'm saying if black people and white people were, you know what I'm saying, integrated like that, eventually all the babies would be beige, and then eventually all the babies would be dark.
Wow. So we'll just suck them into us and recycle the black race.
So if we all married each other, we'd produce Barack Obamas.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And that's a good point.
Wow.
I mean, that's.
What do you think if Barack? I respect the man, President Obama. What do you think if he just said he could not do this because it wouldn't be politically correct? What if he just said, just so I've been elected for second term, I don't have to worry about being reelected, just so it's not left to everyone's imagination. These are the priorities as I see them, and in what order I'm going to focus on them, instead of trying to tell everyone, oh, you're important, and then leaving the things that are honestly not important to be ignored. What if the guy just said, this is, I'm not leaving it to your imagination. These are the top 20 priorities. And then if the black community says, we noticed that we're not even on the list, you know, why doesn't he just be clear? This is this is how I'm going to spend the next 4 years, and then, but that invites debate and people saying, well, how can you do that? But I think one of the problems is there's a lot of people that think he's going to take care of them, and it's an unreal expectation because it's not even a priority.
I agree.
Barack Obama doesn't have the testicular fortitude to speak up.
You lack the testicular fortitude
to speak up on anything that is real and solid, which is why, in my opinion, he doesn't have the respect of the Strong Brothers. I watch his wife. She don't like him.
But listen,
all you gotta do is watch Michelle, and them faces she make, because it comes from being around a toxic man.
Corey and Jeff Brown and Mark. This is what's happening. Our sisters are looking at Barack and Michelle's relationship as the template for a happy relationship. Do you understand? So the type of dude Barack is now becoming the type of dude that sisters want. Now understand this dynamic that's happening in education houses all over the country. Young black boys, my homeboy Ice Life, national poet, Def Jam poet, author, he's from Oakland, and he's an educator. This dude wrote a post for Huffington Post that talks about how young black boys in all of the schools across the country are being kicked out for signs of defiance. And what he pointed out that was very poignant to me is that not only are the black boys getting kicked out for frivolous reasons, getting sent to detention, but young black girls are inadvertently and subconsciously being educated on how to expel black men from their homes.
I think it's a blessing Barack Obama ain't had no son. I'm glad he got 2 daughters.
Wow. That's cold.
Wow.
I watched that.
Wow.
I mean, like, that is not a coincidence. That is God saying enough is enough of this bullshit.
We don't want to pass the lineage.
We're not going to let him have another one of these.
Wow. Corey Holcomb.
I'm just saying.
You going at the president's neck, and personally, I don't like it. What's our next topic? Jesus.
Okay, so we
get off the president.
Well, Chuck, I can hear you feel energy justice now.
Well, I want to ask Corey and Jeff. I want to ask all of you something, but especially Corey. Okay. Can you?
We can't go to the next topic, Mark.
Let's hear what the dog has to say.
You see the white man taking over the show. You see that, right? They can't just play a supporting role in nothing. White man, let's go somewhere else. Okay,
no, he's got a question.
No, go ahead, Mark.
It's going to be deep.
I love Mark, so let's go.
Okay, Corey. I think what you say has value, but when you get into your defiant manner, it gets lost. So I think if you could say what I am seriously disappointed in the president about, because when you start getting angry, now granted you're a comedian, but when you start,
you're an angry black man. Did you not know that?
That's what you're called when you speak up for yourself. But go ahead.
I think you are dishonoring valid points in your rant, and people listen to the rant and they lose the value. So why don't you, and just say, okay, these are the 3 things I am most disappointed in President Obama about, and just say it, and then you can rant afterwards. But
so you're saying if he says it in respect, he will gain respect for what it is he's trying to convey.
Right, and I'm sitting next to the man.
Say it in respect.
And he is a deep dude. He's thoughtful. He's thought serious. So is Jeff. So are you. I mean, you think through things. Now, granted, we have to be entertaining, and I kind of balance that by being not so entertaining. But I think, no, Corey, I think you have some valid points, and I think if you could just say what I am most disappointed in this man about, and then we can go on the next topic.
Corey, can you do that? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
That's a way where people try to get you to fit in. Corey is who Corey is, and I don't think I'm defiant. I think that I just speak on it, and I know
you're dishonoring and distracting from the value of what you have to say.
How? Tell me.
Because you're really smart, and when you take that tone, you trigger flashbacks in people who are likely to react to the tone and miss out on the value.
You know what? So I should say it calmly.
He's saying it's your tone and delivery. That's what he's saying.
Corey and Jeff, if you were stupid instead of as smart as you are, all of you are dishonoring the smartness you have by distracting from it with your tone. I'm not saying don't be entertaining, but these are some serious issues, and you have some serious good input.
Doc, I hate to cut you off, but here's
no,
the thing.
You don't.
I think
you love
missing.
cutting him off. You love it.
If you were to hang out with me and Corey on the rare times that we hang out, we don't talk like this because we're entertaining. We say what we say because that's exactly how we feel. And if I was running for office, if I was trying to get people to side with me, if I had some points that I was trying to make to gain favor, I would take your advice. But I'm not. I'm speaking my mind. And this is exactly how I feel.
So let me,
I don't feel
but you know what? And that's a great point.
Can I say this?
And that's a great point.
Put it this way, Doc. If you had to put music behind what I say, your producer would not be David Foster. It would be Hank Shockley, because that's how I feel about this.
And on top of that, Barack Obama keeps his tone all melancholy and down, and people still tell him something's wrong with him because it's all about who's saying it. People don't want to hear you say nothing that is against the system, whether you're saying it in a high-pitched voice, a low-pitched voice. Whenever you speak against the system, people cut off and try to find something wrong with you.
So let me do this. We're going to go to the next topic, but before we do, Doc, because I love your perspective and I love what you're bringing to the table right now. A lot of people are being educated on the dynamics of a black man. And if you really are watching this show, you're hearing something. But let me hit you with this, Doc. Would you say that Barack Obama, his temperament and the way that he deals and interfaces, with people from his office of the presidency, would you say he's more like Martin Luther King? Right? Just his demeanor. Martin Luther King was exceedingly intelligent and articulate, but he was also, he would take a lot. He would stand up and say certain things, but he would also take a lot. Are you saying in a way that we need to do away with the Malcolm X persona? Because Malcolm X did not take no shit off nobody.
Ever.
And he told you how he felt. And in a lot of ways, Malcolm X was defiant. He was angry. And he stood up, and he was not going to take nothing. Because to me, when I hear what you're saying, it sounds like you're saying, do it in a respectful manner. But when you've been a people that has been disrespected to the degree that we have, why can't we stand up with indignation? Why not? Especially the young black man who currently, today, is under attack in this culture.
I think when I hear your voices, I think what you have, and it's all legitimate, is I think you have anticipatory disrespect. So
I love it. I love it.
You anticipate that what you have to say will not be respected. You anticipate that the world is not going to say what Zoe says when he says go deeper. Mm-hmm. You anticipate they're going to say that's a bunch of BS. And I think even before people say that, you anticipate it. So you're already riled for an argument, right. and that triggers an argument. And the point is, it doesn't trigger conversation. You might say, well,
that's good stuff.
Wow, I've never disagreed with you.
No.
Never
anticipatory.
I disagree.
Say it again. Anticipatory.
Look.
That was awesome.
I will say, the majority of people, and this is where we get to the fear under the anger, a lot of people have anticipatory pushback, anticipatory disrespect. So even before someone else says something, if you believe that they will, it already primes you for a debate.
Okay.
And what happens is that initial kind of volley, it's kind of like attacking the net, as opposed to being way back or something.
Okay.
And that's going to trigger a like response.
Jeff, just let me say this. But that's an opinion, right?
That's an opinion.
That's an opinion. The facts are the facts. And that's the thing that people need to be able to see all the time, the facts. The opinions of what Corey is doing or what Jeff is doing when they talk, that's all mumbo jumbo to get away from the facts. The facts are, it's some scandalous things happening in this country to young black men, and nobody speaking on it, especially this so-called president.
Wow.
Because it's really deep. Somebody needs to say something.
This is heavy, and I love what Mark Goulston just said. Anticipatory disrespect, does that work in the same manner as, say, anticipatory grief?
I don't love. I disagree with it.
Look, when you at the beginning of the show, we talked about toxic relationships. Well,
yes.
If you step off the toxic thing, I think one of the things that's a big problem for relationships is when you have anticipatory disrespect. That you get home and you anticipate that your girlfriend, your husband, your boyfriend, if you anticipate that no matter what you've done, they're going to point out what you didn't do.
So to pull out a condom with a woman...
Whoa. Can I get 15 seconds?
Hold on.
Just hold on, Jeff.
To pull out a condom with a woman is
next time show up.
Anticipatory she's a bitch, right?
To pull out a what?
If you pull out a condom on a woman, that's anticipatory she's a bitch syndrome.
What does that mean?
No. When you pull out a condom, you have anticipatory. Hey, I've got her under my power. She's going to roll over.
Oh wow, Doc! What kind of pimp business? All right, Jeff Brown, go.
Okay.
Next time, show up early.
What I think is unfair, you compare apples and bowling balls, Doc. Okay, I am not. If I'm in a boxing match, if I'm in a fight. When the bell rings, I'm supposed to anticipate getting hit in the face. That's not the same as being in a relationship. I am supposed to anticipate some pushback to what I have to say because there's been pushback to to these facts that I'm spitting out since we've been here.
Everything you say,
the very state that we are in. As black people,
I understand that,
but antagonistic.
But how?
So the concept, hold on, the concept that I'm supposed to walk into this particular fight with my hands down is ridiculous to me. It says that Jeff, why are you up in arms? Jeff, why do you have your gun? Because I'm in a gunfight, Doc. That's why I got my gun.
So he's saying the pushback is in response to the initial suppression and oppression.
It can't be pushed back if I wasn't pushed first.
Okay, well let me ask both.
It means nothing.
Do you want? Okay. Here's where we're getting, and this is where I've been safe. Here's where I've been safe as being a white man as opposed to a black man. If you expect me to be. What it feels like is you don't expect me to be open to what you say. You expect me to be obedient to it. You expect when you say this thing, you don't expect me to be open and listen to what you say. You expect me to agree with what you say, do it with a smile, and say, you are right, we owe you, take whatever you need. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm just saying if you want to have a constructive conversation, if you expect me to listen to you and I don't see you listening to me, I think we have a stalemate, my friend.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Hey, wait a minute. Everybody, wait. Everybody.
I expect white people to do what they've been doing when they talk to me.
Okay, but listen, Jeff. I got to take a break. So hold on. We'll be back at 2.2. Y'all got it on fire up in here. So what mornings? We'll be back at 2.2. Get to your phone lines. 323-965-1600. We got to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, So What Morning Show. When I tell you this show is on fire, So What Mornings. Listen, get to your phones right now. This is a call to action. Text ZO to 90210. This is how you stay in contact with me. I'm telling you, my book is being edited right now. The Relationship Dismount is off the chain. Hey, I got another book you should get. A lot of people be asking me to, what kind of books can I read to find out about my culture and my heritage and what was lost. The God Genes Decoded by R.A. Waldron. Incredible book. This is volume 2. I suggest you get volume 1. Talks about our history, what was stolen, how it was rewritten, how it was changed out. I mean, it's cold-blooded. The God Genes Decoded by R.A. Waldron. Please go check this out. ASAP. I got other books, though. I got crazy books. But let me welcome back everybody. Corey Holcomb is in the building. Dr. Mark Goulston, author of Just Listen. Got to get his book as well. And comedian, funny man, on the phone, Jeff Brown in the building right now. What we're going to do is go to Studious Chocolate, Chuck Doe, with our final topic. And we're going to nail it out right now. What's the final topic? Let's go.
Okay, there's a serial killer that's on death row inmate, Glenn Rogers, who admitted to the murders of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman.
Really? Now, she's so young, she don't know who she even talking about.
Anyways, there's a documentary called My Brother, the Serial Killer that his brother Clay is putting out tonight, actually. It airs. Or tomorrow it airs at 9 p.m. on the...
Let me say this. Did black people know that O.J., in our heart of hearts, did we know that O.J. was innocent? Most of us felt that he was innocent, right?
I can honestly say I didn't know if he was innocent or not, but I know when I met him, he couldn't walk.
Football. Anybody who knows anything about football, especially the running back position, you look at Earl Campbell, you look at Jerome Bettis, you look at even Portis, guys like that who run the ball, who pound the ball, Franco Harris. These guys barely walk.
He's a crippled man. And I'm not making no excuses for him. I don't know whether he did it or not, but I'm saying when I met him, I was like, wow, that's weird.
How many of us felt like, and this is to you, Jeff Brown, how many of us felt like when he got sentenced to jail for trying to steal his own stuff in Vegas that, oh, hell, they got him. They finally got him. They were after him. That was the one who got away. Jeff Brown?
I'm Jeff Brown. I felt like he was stupid for even being anywhere near here because they couldn't touch his pension. What he should have done was took his ass over to Barbados or to St. Kitts or St. Bart somewhere
and just chilled out.
The hell out.
Yeah.
What I think most people don't understand, especially people who are not black, don't understand about how black people generally felt is that we didn't really give a damn about OJ. No way. We had written him off before the Hearst
because
commercial.
all he did was get down with the white folk.
Had you down with the white folks. What we got, what the justification we got was from seeing hours and months and pages of footage of white men standing next to brothers hanging from trees like they just caught a big fish.
Wow.
And to compare that to him maybe getting off is us one, y'all 6,380,404.
Great point. Dr. Mark Goulston, I mean, you remember the OJ trial. It was the trial of the century, right? And it set in effect a lot of the domestic abuse laws that are in place today, because now it's a high-profile couple. The woman ended in death, and the husband is suspected of murder. With this new revelation, do you think OJ should get any clemency because his case is being retried in Vegas? Now, do you think he should get any clemency in light of this new revelation?
I think they have to sort out the facts of this new revelation to see if this person. I mean, there should be ways of checking DNA and all that sort of stuff and matching it to see if the guy really did that. I don't know what his motivation for saying he did it would be, but I got to tell you something, because I was in the OJ trial.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Did you vote not guilty?
I was with the prosecution.
Ooh. This man tried to send one of our legendary heroes to jail.
No, but I got to tell you something, because on the day that the not guilty verdict came out, so there was that divide. Black said, yeah, hurrah, we don't know whether he's guilty, not guilty, but as you say, score one for us, 10 zillion.
They didn't want to see him get hung on national television like that. That's really what it was.
I mean, we've seen enough lynchings.
Yeah, it's all about.
But I got to
Doctor tried to lynch another one.
No, but I got to share. So and I was actually on TV that day, and radio kind of things about it. What was happening? Why were the white people so riled up with all this injustice? And what I said to some of my close black friends, I remember I had this revelation because it felt like a real injustice. And I remember I said to one of my close black friends, I said, I am sick with this kind of injustice. The deck was stacked against us, but I realized, I put myself in my black friend's shoes, and I said, I'll bet you feel that. I'll bet this is the way you have felt. That the deck stacked against you. And he looked at me, and he said, "Of course." I said, "How long have you felt that way?" He says, "All my life." And I said to him, "It feels awful to have the deck stacked against you. Why didn't you tell me it was so bad? I'm your friend." And he looked straight through me. He said, "Because you didn't want to know."
Wow.
And he was right.
Wow.
Well, that I think that when black people and white people become friends, especially if they're going to be genuine with each other, they need to have a talk.
That's what I was going to say.
They need to have a talk about what the fuck is going on inside, as you are my friend and you're white and I'm your friend and you're black. Because if you just leave it out there without ever mentioning it, it's tension that's building up.
Right.
Oh, it's awful.
Let me say this, because the doc is Jewish. The difference between the Jewish oppression
and a lot of black people don't understand that. Do you know that?
Right. I know they don't.
They don't know the
difference between the Jewish oppression and the black oppression is this. The Jews were allowed to still hold on to their identity, what they are. So you guys were able to fall back on at least, this is who we are. And you can't, no matter what kind of camp you put us in, no matter what kind of, whatever you do, you're not going to kill who we are.
Their history wasn't taken from them.
Absolutely. When they tell each other, never forget, they're not just talking about the Holocaust.
Right. So my point to the doc is, how can survivors of the Holocaust reach out to spiritually disenfranchised black people and teach them how to emerge from oppression much in the same fashion that you guys did? Or are you guys so insulated and isolated that you don't want to help someone who's gone through something similar to you?
It's not similar.
No, I think it's something Corey just said.
I know it's not similar.
Corey said is, whether it's blacks and whites, whether it's Arabs and Jews, you got to start to have some real conversations in which you actually hear the other person out. And if you don't just listen and hear the other person out, you make no progress. And I don't think the Jews would reach out to the blacks to even understand them, but they need to. And I think it's a shame on any Jews who survived the Holocaust, knowing what it's like to survive that, to show to just be ignorant and not be concerned with other people.
Well, it's not their responsibility to.
Well,
it is their responsibility as part of the human family. Yes, it is.
If you know what it's like to feel disregarded, discarded, and destroyed, and you know what it's like, you have a responsibility to help anyone who's feeling that. If you're a human being.
Dude, that don't play in the economics.
And this is what we have to do right now. We've got to go. This is the end of the show. We could have went another 2 or 3 hours on this one. This was fire.
It's deep.
I want to say thanks to Jeff Brown for calling in late, even from the house, and lying, saying his car wasn't working, and he was playing pocket pool all morning and just didn't want to come. Appreciate you for calling. Love what you do on the show. I want to say thanks to Corey Holcomb, man, for making that special trip. And you know what? I'm going to come down to your show tonight, and we're gonna end it on a bang.
It's the last Foxhole show. We about to talk that real shit and spill all the beans. Fuck 'em!
Oh, damn! Corey Holcomb in the building. And I want to also thank Dr. Mark Goulston, man. You're the rudder, man. We appreciate everything you provide because we need these type of interactive conversations. And sometimes they might get a little heated, but you always keep it cool and you always keep it classy. We really appreciate and respect what you bring.
Don't treat me like a centerboard if I'm a rudder.
Hilarious. Lord have mercy. And our girl, Studious Chocolate, in the building. Producer, intern, student, journalist. Love your energy. Love what you bring to the show. And we'll see you guys next week on the next Zo What Morning Show. Deuces, Mr. Number Wonderful, take us out. Oh.